Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Kevin. How are we doing? It looks like we're ready to kick it off here. And oh, here we go. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Mark. And good morning, Kevin. Oh, got a little extra coffee here this morning. The black beans. And the tuning fork. Good morning, Justin. Little Java. Good morning, Raul. Good morning, Robbie Smith. Mr. Smith. No, it'll be Mr. Anderson. I'm feeling we had a little bit of, got a little sickness ripping through the family somehow again. I'm not sure, but we're doing okay. Just kind of an early start an early start today, and we're just going to push right through. Thank you for asking very much. Thank you for kindly. My typical response to that, Guitar for Everyone, is I'm doing better than some and worse than others. And that's my go-to, as you know. Yesterday I forgot to tell you what I do to keep my strings. I forgot to share that. So before I tune up, why don't we go through that? We'll take a look at the string set, and then I have a lint-free rag or whatever, and I would just kind of grab, pinch each string and get underneath the string and run the entire length of the string to keep the strings. I do this every time I put the guitar down. If I play the guitar 5 or 10 minutes, I touch it, I always ritualistically, ceremonially kind of get the undercarriage of the string, the sides, and then the tops. And this usually is accompanied by, a cleanse of the back, because all of those I wash my hands before I play or soak them or whatever. But typically what will happen is I'll have to just remove all of those oils from the guitar neck before I set it away for a period of time. And that helps me a tremendous amount. I don't really enjoy the sounds of brand new strings. I like the feel and the sound of the broken in strings. So, plus I like the cost benefit of not having to replace strings every gig. I do have friends who do it, and it's like plucking the eyebrows before you go outside. You know what I mean? Making sure you've got the mascara on or whatever. But I don't really enjoy. I like changing strings, but I just I prefer the sound of broken in strings. So, here we go. So we'll get started. Hey Jason, I counted the notes on the riff for the opening of Life by the Drop, and there's 24, including hammer-ons and pull-offs. That's cool to know. Yeah, I forget the order, but it's all in straight 4. So if you counted 4 up front, there's 2 even bar. There are 2 full even bars of Life by the Drop. That intro is 2 full bars, so we can break that down a little bit later. And I'm glad you brought it up, because listening to it for the first time, it's just so sophisticated. The rhythmic placement of all of those, each tone is very sophisticated in its delivery. So good morning, we're at 4 beats per minute. Gotta breathe here. 60 beats per minute, 4 attacks per beat. I've got my mind involved in some other things, some state level and national level things this morning, so I've got to just sort of say goodbye to those things with a little breathing and a little warm up. So here we go. Fingers 2, 3, and 4 on frets 11 and 12. 1 and a 2E and a TE, and we're starting right away, and I'll go through. Here we go. 1E and a 2Z and a you know what to do, and we'll just carry on, and we'll come down through and say hello to everyone, hopefully, and good morning to everyone. Bepetlia is back. Good morning. I'll email you the notes today. Oh, cool. What a great song. And then what a wonderful song to sing, you know, just. I had this feeling like I remember hearing about Mr. Eric Clapton standing in the audience just the first time he saw Stevie Ray Vaughan. His mind was melting a little bit, wondering like how he could just keep going and, it seemingly remain like totally connected to his guitar practice, you know, his guitar work on the stage. Stevie Ray Vaughan just kept on trucking, you know, beads of sweat and all, you know, he's just a rare bird. Fingers 2 and 3, 11 and 12. 1E and a 2E and a TE and a 4. Yeah, email those at jasoncareyguitar@gmail. Oh, thank you, Pepepli. We're good. Just early to bed, early to rise. Guitar for everyone. Sorry, I can't join again. I have a deadline tomorrow. Oh, well, hopefully your deadline goes well. I forget what you were working on, Pepeplia, but Godspeed, my friend. Time to switch to tea. Honey and lemon. Yeah, right on. I think what happened was last week I've had a we'll say a friend come to the studio to do some tracking, and the next week he said I won't be making it in because he was just really sick. So I don't know. I hope I didn't get what he has, but my immune system's usually pretty good. I did put some honey in the yogurt this morning and oatmeal, you know, dried oats or whatever. So that's good. Bet we're all here all year, so join us when you can. 1E and 2 fingers, 1 and 2, and go E and Sorry about. All right, so let's see. Good morning, Mr. Tortorello. Oh, I did go. I tried to get your link last night when we were kind of winding down, closing up business for the day. I had my laptop and I couldn't get the link on my laptop for some reason. So this morning I've got to get out and start moving around again. I'm going to start working on doing some walking and jogging, and so that's started this week. And just to keep that motor running. So I really enjoy the time, like the endurance part of it. Like, you know, if I do 15 or 16 or 17 miles, then it turns into a mind over matter thing for me, just to keep moving. So, but I really enjoy the grind. Do you know what I mean? I really enjoy activity. Is almost always the key, right? It's almost always the key. So, Michael, good morning, Michael, and thank you. I see that icon next to your name, which indicates you're a brand new, a fresh, shiny new channel member. So thank you very much for doing that, and glad you're here. And we'll continue on. I just wanted to thank you for that. Thank you very kindly. Let's see. So we've got fingers. Oh, let's do the fingers 3 and 4 stretch. 2 finger stretch, so fingers 3 and 4. 10 and 12, and here we go. 1 and a 2 and a, you know what to do. Morning, friends. Okay. I can smell barbecue and Trump from here. Crunchy. What's going on? You got to have a little bark on that barbecue. Light and medium. I like to do, like, for this guitar, I like to use 12s on the top. And if I use, you know, the 13s, I'll use those on my, I'll use those wires on my, like, bluegrass rigs, like the Conley and the, you know, heavier gauge guitars, the ones that you want to turn into cannons. You want to send those big balls of iron out into the bay. That's what you need for that. So let's do fingers 2 and 3, and fingers 2 and 3 are on 10 and 12. 1, 2, and T and bow. And indeed, a sophisticated timing on the opening, just incredible. I've been playing Life by the Drop since you brought it up the other day. Such a beautiful song, and it might be the first SRB tune I've heard when I was, I remember, do you remember the first time you were exposed or introduced to Stevie Ray Vaughan? It was Couldn't Stand the Weather, and it was the album, you know, with Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. And I remember hearing that album, and it just ripped me apart. I thought, I can do that. Marion, play Metallica. Good call. You know, I love the Metallica tunes. Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, you've joined us for our morning ritual for guitar growth, which is an indicator that we're working on breathing. We've already kind of worked on getting the guitar, you know, kind of in tune, and now what we're doing is we're working through our mechanical process of getting the guitar sort of like tamed. You know, we're taming the beast, so to speak. Just a little sip here. We're taming the untamable, seemingly untamable. Let's go ahead and use fingers 2 and 4 because I haven't had enough punishment yet. All right, fingers 2 and 4, 9 and 12, here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. Congratulations on Interstellar Burst. Oh, I missed something. Nice sounding tune. I'm excited to check that out. I've been homesick this week. Oh man, everybody's kind of going down for the count. I guess at the school it's like pretty serious, like there are, you know, tens of teachers out and all of that stuff. So it's kind of going, it is going around, something funky. A little fungus among us. Airbag by Radiohead. I just like to be weird and title the videos with different lyrics for the song. Radiohead. What a great band. Bernard, good morning, Bernard. The old Fretboard family is here, and we are ripping it. So fingers 9 and 12, and 1 E end of fingers 1 and 3, frets 9 and 12. Here we go. Well, give the best to your household over there, Mark. Performed it well. Yeah, good. All right. Michael, you bet. Glad I'm catching this live. I'm glad you're here live. So if you have questions, this is a great place to be. this is a wonderful place to be. This live chat is something that's just a banger. And there are guitar players from all over the planet here and loaded with great experiences, live experiences, performance experience, and then and we're all guitar practitioners together, you know, by trade, whether we're campfire guitar players, we like to play for entertainment, we like to play to entertain ourselves, keep the head on straight, you know what I mean? That's probably the biggest calling for a guitarist, is keeping one's head on straight. So let's do fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 11 and 12. I'm coming back around here. I'm starting to engage in my practice environment, and we'll just keep running with that. So 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a faux E and a. The sky is crying, Texas flood. Oh yeah. Couldn't stand the weather. Yeah, very cool stuff. Sam Grease, we've got Turbo Face. I have a question. I can't wait to hear this question, Turbo Face. Rip away. Dude, I got band practice today and I'd pay to have you as my personal teacher. Dude. Alright, let's do it. We used to run ensembles. We used to run ensembles out of the conservatory when we, in a previous life, I founded and directed, blah, blah, blah. And we did a lot of those kinds of things where we were matching musicians with other musicians, and then we were holding, bi-weekly practices or week practices twice a week, So we'd have groups of mentors, and just really awesome times. So fingers 1 and 2 and 3 on frets 10, 11, and 12. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do and a. When I tune my guitar, the strings are very hard and it's tuned right, and it hurts my fingertips. I am a beginner. Are there any tips you have? Yeah. Okay, you in Brooklyn. Now I have a friend in Brooklyn. Craig Brandt can help you out. Give Craig a call. You still owe me a version of Nutshell. Oh, this is that Sam. Did you not go back through my channel and find Nutshell? I've got a lesson of Nutshell. Would that be close enough, or you want to hear it? I was thinking I'd do I was going to stream, what's the name of the tune where he's like, ain't found a way to kill me yet. Rooster. I was thinking about streaming Rooster because I've had a lot of requests for that on my personal Facebook timeline. So it's just one of those things that, Nutshell's a great one. They're all great that whole album is great. All of those albums are wonderful. You remember the Mr. Cantrell is captured on Mr. Beato's podcast or, YouTube interviews series, as he talks about himself as being a riff collector. He records everything. And then somehow, Mr. Jerry Cantrell, the guitar player from our band, our favorite band, Sam and I, we share this connection with Alice in Chains apparently. So Mr. Jerry Cantrell was the guitar player from Alice in Chains. So, and you all probably know that. 1, 2, T info, and you know what to do. Stretch 4. So I would recommend, if you're new to the guitar, to turbo fakes. I would just do this. I would try to join, not to sound like asinine, but I would just join this group or a group like it, you know, I think just having that encouragement to do the workouts, do the seat time, muscle through the pain a little bit. You know, there's a little bit of that Summer of '69 that played it till my fingers bled, Bryan Adams thing going on here, but totally unnecessary. As we talked a little bit about yesterday, Mr. Joe Satriani is caught saying something to the effect when playing legato style that it's important to have very, very light touch, and if your touch isn't super light, it's the lighter your touch. Right now I'm really touching the guitar lightly with my fret hand, but you can hear that I'm still making connections with the string. The strings are still connecting to the fretboard. Now if I play any lighter, I'll give you an example when we get back to the place from whence we came here. But the less you press, the faster you progress, and the less pain you experience. But the more pain, the more pressure we exert on the guitar, the slower our technique is going to be longitudinally. So we don't want to cause ourselves extra grief. Do you know what I mean? I get plenty of grief from everybody else. I don't want to supply it for myself. So here's the finger, you know, not pressing at all. Here's the finger not even on the string, but here's the finger approaching the 9th fret. I'm slowly applying pressure. You can hear it start to come to life. Pressure, more pressure. Finally, more pressure, and then finally I get no buzz, and I get removing pressure, get the buzz, adding more pressure so that I don't have the buzz. If any more pressure than that, I'm wasting energy. Any more pressure than this and we're playing too much. Any less pressure and we're not pressing enough. You'll find that it's going to be hard to hurt your fingers if your guitar is set up correctly, when we're applying the correct amount of pressure on our fret hand. And that's with every single finger, and the tendency is to really grip it hard, I think, for some of us. That could be what's happening with you. Certainly has happened with me before. So let's take a look at fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we're kicking the first finger back. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do. 8, 10, 11, and 12, and then we get to the top of that descent. Yeah, Rooster was written about his dad, I learned the other day. Do you have any gigs coming up? Ooh, cool. Good morning, Mr. Husband. Good morning, Dan. How are you this morning? Yeah, got all 5 fingers out there. Good. Hang in there, TurboFix. It gets easier and less painful over time. I found that doing these exercises in the morning has helped me relax my finger pressure. It doesn't happen overnight. It can. I'm not really sure. Like, sometimes that divine intervention does some really great things for us, doesn't it? But it is about touch. Tone is all about touch. And I used to have, the late great Peter Johnson used to tell me this. Like, he's like, it's all about, all of the tone is in your fingers. And he's like, do you have your fingers insured? Because a guitar player like you need to have your fingers insured, man. You got to insure your fingers. Like, buy insurance, like extra health insurance for my fingers, so that if anything happens, you need to be covered. So there's that, you know. I'd like to think I can figure out other things to do if all my fingers were gone and I had to move on from the guitar. But good idea, though. Insurance is always I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about insurance, but I know we have it for certain things, but let's go ahead and take a look at fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 diagonal. But before we do that, I've got a stretch. I just realized I'm 25 minutes in. We're 25 minutes in. I haven't done a single stretch yet. So I'm straight elbow, getting the fingers kicked back, and it feels to me like we're doing one more day of like basic improv, an approach to basic improvisation on the guitar. It feels like that's what's going on today. I wanted to talk a little bit about incorporating triads, because one of us here, I think it was Mr. Husband, has been talking about triad. Dan's been talking about triads, I think. And so I thought it would be a good idea to incorporate like how to fold triads into the minor pentatonic world that we live in so commonly and frequently as guitarists. So we'll work to set up what we've been established with shake out the hand. Yeah, now we're doing the same thing on the other arm. Talk about insurance, right? You've got an extra layer, a patch on the elbow. That's insurance right there, isn't it? So we're talking about just stretching, but we have established the simplicity of improvisation, like saying the words and remembering that there's peace and plenty. And we don't need to play a lot of notes in order to communicate a musical thought. And sometimes, if there are too many notes going by all at once for a sustained period of time, there's some novelty in that approach to the guitar, and then, or anything for that matter. But then, if all we do is play fast notes all the time and we're asking an audience to absorb just the fast notes, we run it. It's not to say that the audience can't handle that kind of thing, but it's also to say that, the audience might like to steam the veggies once in a while instead of like boil them, or they might have a different presentation. Do you know what I mean? Just the simple things. Just a variety of presentation. So slow, meaningful, thoughtful notes, like B.B. King's "The Thrill Is Gone" is a really go-to, or Miles Davis's "Kind of Blue" album. Don't play the note unless you mean it, and if you mean it enough, how can it possibly be a wrong note, right? So but if we wanted to take a look at where we've come from, take a look at where we're going, and then add some more value to that, I think we can start with, moving from, triad to triad to try to build something else, other than sort of a strictly linear approach to the guitar. All right, so we'll come back to that in about 10 minutes or so. How's everybody doing? Play your favorite song and then we'll guess it. That's a good idea. Wonderful idea. Stretch and smash that like button time. Oh, I always forget. I'm so bad at that stuff, the advertising end of things. So if you haven't already done this yet, one of the ways that you get to be a supreme guitar player, like super quickly, is by smashing the like button, right? Is that accurate? Is that consistent with your understanding of learning the guitar? And this is, by the way, a disclaimer, that comment's for entertainment purposes only, all right? Just so you know. All right, love the triad idea. Me too. I have a funny story about how I met jazz guitarist in the street yesterday. Will be in my next guitar journal. Oh, nice. I like the story. The story is great. The narrative is good. Triads into pentatonics, what I'm working on now. Very cool. double stops. Oh yeah. So that's sort of like the bridge, right? The double stops are the bridge between, you know, playing single note solo. And then, you know, chord solos, full-blown chord solos, right? You know, that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and agrees with lead and Triads. Good. All right, we're back. I'm back. So I got to do the diagonal pattern today, but we'll do that right after the 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. How do you guys feel about how many notes per how many attacks per beat can we get? So I think we can get 12s out of it. 12 tuplets, right? Do you want to try that? Mateus Mancuso? Oh yeah, absolutely. Mateus? No. Mateo. So who are you talking about, Mateus? I've got to hear this, so talk more about that, Anthony. So let's do quintuplets. That'll make this a challenge. 1, 2, da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be hard for me because I've got 3 in each subgroup, right? And then I've got 5 in the other hand. So this will be a little bit of a chore. You could see me stop halfway through and just say that with it. We'll go back to quarters or 16ths. But patience and perseverance accomplishes all things. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, gung, ding, 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 Well, I think I saw a piece of that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, down, 1, 2, T, 4, 5, 1, 2, T, 4, 5, 1, 2. And maybe for 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, 1, 3, 4. I'll use just six tuplets. So da 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 da. So let's try that. 1. So we'll use fingers 1, 3, 4, and then on frets 9, 11, and 12, and then da 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 da. It feels a little bit more regular. Almost talk over the top of this, and I'll try to continue to talk over this. But I noticed that when I talk, my connectivity with the metronome starts to fail. But that's okay, because talking over this is really helpful, because I need to get better at this. For some reason, I feel like this helps me to separate. If I wanted to sing over songs, I can sing over the song. And it doesn't really, like, I'm not like totally dependent rhythmically on matching up with what exactly my guitar is doing at the moment. So that's really helpful for me, a guy like me, to practice. I have friends who will, like, when they're learning really complicated things, like, and it probably works for me the same way, but they're working on really complicated vocal lines over a very complicated, like, guitar passage. So what they'll do, what Michael will do, is like write out the, he'll write out the guitar part rhythmically, notate all of it, and then notate all of the vocal part, and then just practice it like you're playing left hand, right hands on the piano, and it all comes together that way. But it's really, sometimes this growth is very slow and it's very controlled, and that's sometimes the shortcut, is to not take a shortcut, because then we get the quality we're looking for and the understanding we're looking for and the joy that we're really looking for. We're not asking like, well, we're failed guitar players, what do we do now? We're not, we're not like Paradise Lost. We're not like, it's not that situation where we're a fallen mind, we're a risen mind. And so we think in those terms, and it's good to know both sides of the coin, but then that helps us to understand the way we're thinking at the moment, and will keep us on track most of the time. I refer to it as, frequently as the word faith to sum up that conversation. So fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, we're diagonally patterned, and then we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, ascend, and then we'll descend the pattern, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then descend that position, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, descend a position, ascend the pattern, descend the pattern, descend position, ascend the pattern, descend the pattern. So that's just a bunch of like, party trick basically, but this is really helpful to start understanding, to frame, to approach like sweep picking techniques. And it's super sloppy, and I could tighten it up, but right now I want to focus on this being an alternate picking exercise, and then just a builder for the left hand or for the fret hand. All right, so 1 E and a 2, you know what to do. Yeah, good idea on the double stops, Matteo Sasato. I saw that interview. Saw pieces of it anyway, not the whole thing, but he does a great job. Rick's just a treasure for for guitar players everywhere, musicians everywhere. Really, he's just hitting it out of the park. So let's do the same thing. 4 middle strings, 1 E and a 2, T and a 4 E and a. I struggle to focus on my finger and lyric work. Okay. Yeah, that's common for most of us. I think all of us. Sometimes it's so common, and it's so it can be perceived as such a high barrier to accessing the next thing that sometimes we jump off and we do something else. We go elsewhere for our feeling of success. We put the puzzle together, so some of us just leave it alone, but we can talk about working through that today a little bit too with our improv approach. So bottom 4 strings and 1 E and a 2 E and a, same thing, go E and a. Keep hearing some of the greats taking vocal lines into guitar lines, make it singable. Warren, Marcus King, Derek Trucks, wow. I hope to work on this more. I'm glad you mentioned that now. I almost forgot that we're doing a live stream tonight talking about Freebird, but really it's a study in slide guitar, and Derek Trucks comes to top of mind when I'm thinking slide guitar. There's a great record, Joyful Noise, Make a Joyful Noise, and he's just so good at the slide, and a bit on the innovative side, but sort of like self-disciplined, and you can see where there's a lot of seat time that's been invested there. And that helps. So we'll probably, if you do jump on tonight, I would recommend, if you have a slide handy, just bring your slide with, and then we'll be ready for questions. You can see where that stuff just comes, and it's just a matter of timing and rehearsing that stuff too. So October 4th, good morning. If you're just starting here, welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth, and where we meet every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we go for about an hour, and we start with breath work, tuning work, and then we go through mechanical process. And that mechanical process is basically the study of chromatic, non-diatonic approach to the instrument. And then the last 15, typically the last quarter we'll start working on some sort of practical application, and which we're getting ready to approach at the moment. All right, and then maybe we can take it to another level, a newer level, where we can kind of just do the things like, and have them come naturally to us, and just kind of live and breathe the guitar. So there's a difference in my mind between the practicing of the guitar, which is the whole point of practice is to provide self-discipline and health, and then when the playing of the guitar or the performance of the guitar is to forget about all of those things that we absorb through and gain through practice. So there are two separate things happening, and we've been fully engaged in practicing. Like the morning ritual is literally a guitar practice. It's what guitar practitioners do, every day. And to what extent, I don't know. We're all different. I think we all have different goal sets, which is the beauty of this whole thing. But then we start working on, starting with, let's go back to the open A string for a moment. There's a really cool, speaking of Paradise Lost, there's a really cool Van Halen song. There it is. But it's kind of a C chord, pedaling with like an A in the bass. We're moving from C with A in the bass, basically a C chord. To D, which would be, a whole different set of triadic positions. So the cool thing about the guitar is once we know one position on the guitar, it's really important to cover quarter notes and be able to sing a song or get those rhythms in our bones just by using quarter B quarter notes, and then everything else can fill in later. The quarters are there. Similar to the way that the perfect triangle is always there, it'll always be there, and it always will be there. So we've got that nice C chord. Basically C chord, so we've got the framework. Got a little bit of that dyadic sort of so we've got that whole thing sort of working for us. So now we've got that we understand that we have the flat 7, the flat 3, the 5, and the C as it kind of relates back to A minor. We can use any A minor sonority that we would like, you know, as long as it kind of conforms to like the, you know, flat 7, flat 3, and then 5. So that's basically A minor 7. When I play a D chord over, and this is sort of what Ted Green talks about with polychords, so we can play one chord over another chord, although this is just one chord over a bass note. And so we have, in the D chord, we have the root note A, and then the 4, the sus4, and the 6. So we'll end up having to, we could play the same exact. We talked about this a little bit a week or two ago with Oye Como Va, because it's basically the same chord progression with, you know, it's pretty much, we're moving from the flat 7, minor 7 to flat 7, 3, flat 3 and 5, flat 3, 5 and flat 7, and then we use the the 5, the flat 7 and the 3, and then the 5 and the root, and the flat 3, and then the flat 7, the flat 3, and then the 5. I'm thinking in terms of A root note, and then the D chord is the same thing, but if we're going to play A minor pentatonic here, we're thinking, oh, I need to, you know, kind of, you know, conform to that D chord, because the D chord has the F sharp in it, right? So that F sharp is not part of the you know, typical A minor pentatonic. It's typically a color tone in minor pentatonic. So if we wanted to play, you know, just A, to like with C on the top, to C with A in the bass, and then C with A in the bass, moving to D with A in the bass. So when I'm moving from C here to C here, that's still part of the A minor pentatonic shape. When I move to C up here, it's still part of the A minor pentatonic shape, but it's in a different position. Getting familiar with where those it's one of those things where like when we're ready, we'll ask the question, so like, how do we move the minor pentatonic shape across the guitar note, and how do we like make it playable? Well, if I play a C chord here inverted here on the D, G, and B strings, and then I play the C chord here on the D, G, and B strings, but use the third, the open G, which is 5, and then 1 on the C. That's also in relation to the A. It's a 5, a flat 7, and a flat 3, right? So that becomes to know A minor pentatonic in. Right, and then we move that C up here to a very friendly guitar pattern for A minor pentatonic. And then we move it up here again to C, which is another, you know, relatively friendly position for A minor pentatonic. And then if I move C up here again, I'm still sort of fingering of this, I think. So we're connecting those dots between minor pentatonics and the inversions of triadic arpeggios. And so far we've done the C chord. Now what we'll do is the D chord, because, you know, we're kind of using that Van Halen song as sort of a vehicle that we can all just get into and use to take us to new places sonically. So let's focus on the D chord for a second. Minor pentatonic and very comfortable fingering, but then I have to remember everywhere I'm playing the flat 7, I've got to really work on remembering that it's now going to be a major 6 instead of that, you know, instead of the flat 7, because we're conforming the scale, we're altering the minor pentatonic or the pentatonics, we're altering the pentatonic to conform to the new harmonic background. So that's a very important thing to remember. A simple thing to remember, but it can be a challenging thing to execute. So what if we started here with A minor pentatonic? Here's, you know, D right here. So I have root, a flat 7, whoop, that needs to be a 6 now. And then I can move that D up here, which is now sort of like in a position that's more comfortable for minor pentatonic for most of us, and then, but that flat 7 is now a 6. So that 6 is really important to find. D chord up here when there's an A minor pentatonic scale here. It's not like we have to be limiting ourselves just to that 6 and totally exclude that flat 7, but we just want to be aware of how and where we can outline the change simply just by changing one note in the minor pentatonic scale that we could blanket over the entire progression. So here's the full progression, and then the D with the A and the bass. What we'll have to do is use our memories to remember the sound of this while we start soloing. trying to do is outline also while we're using the chord changes with C with A in the bass and then D with A in the bass. I'm also just trying to outline the chord arpeggios. For example, C. So there's just some things, there's stuff happening there to, if we play it and we allow ourselves to really breathe our way through it. I noticed that if we don't, if we don't regulate breath, it tightens up and restricts muscle tissues, especially in the picking hands and fretting hands, and it will continue to kind of like retard our ability to move forward, right? So we don't want to being mindful of the breath, I think, while we go through this process is super important, and it's one of the final things I wanted to talk about today as we start working through our warm down and our close. We expect to close on time. I think I have to start thinking in terms of, getting the questions done before the end, because I think by the time Kevin jumps, I want to have all of these questions sort of like, handled and comments handled. Are you sliding alternate tunings or tunings? So there tonight will be simply, low barrier for access, standard tuning for the whole night. We're going to be talking about how to isolate one string and how to dampen, how to produce a good resonant tone without, typically with a slide, both sides of the string will ring unless we control or we dampen the unactive side. So there are a few technical problems that we'll address right away, but we'll start with wearing the slide, making decisions on which finger to wear the slide. Freebird is great because we start with a picking sequence in the beginning of the song, and then we move quickly into a slide approach. I'm going to do all of this probably on an acoustic guitar, and it will not be a huge electric setup, but maybe it will, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. I think it's got to be done without any assist from amplification. I think that's a good way to look at it. Go to Zoom call and turn into a video how to play and sing at the same time, smashing the like button. And then, oh yeah, don't forget, smash the like button. And running, yeah, that's right, that's the one. Run with us, Lisa Laugh, Raccoon soundtrack, so catchy, DuckTales, oh, love it. Everyone should have this one. Good ideas. I like the ideas. I like the generation of like the industry within this live feed is just really exciting. This is exciting for me personally. All right, you can come back, Bernard. Glad you're here. Talking chords, thank you for bringing them up to speed. Triads, pentatonics, this is gold. Oh, awesome. Fake it till you make it. That's right. Amen. Oh yeah, pentatonics. And let me keep an eye out for Kevin. Hey, great day, Kevin. Thanks for being here. We'll see you. Maybe we'll see you tonight. We're going to jump. We're going to end here right on time, and just a little bit over time, but we're going to do it. So examples of Musicality and chords. Oh, Miles. Hey, great, Miles. We're just wrapping it up. Sorry to get to your comment late, but we'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow again, same time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. Maybe we'll see you again tomorrow. Every day, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. for all of 2025. We'll see you then. Is adding or sharpening or flattening the 2 and/or 6 to pentatonic pretty much changing mode? We're altered. So the difference, there's a difference calling, like, we'll call it altered pentatonics. Good morning, Randy. Oh, Randy, nice to see you. Yeah. Just going through the remainder of the comments here. I wanted to say good day, everybody. And let's see, I'm almost to the end here. I think, forgive me if I'm skipping things or glancing over things, but I just want to keep us on time here. Tommy Emmanuel, all right. Do you teach guitar lessons? Yeah, absolutely. Aaron Tiba Jamir, yes, guitar lessons, absolutely. We should Skype sometime and share ideas. Oh, good idea, yeah. Learned a lot. Godspeed, pickers. Oh, Uncle Jason, all right, there it is. How do you know what notes are next in the scale as you're doing it? What are you thinking of? That's a good question. Hopefully not much. Do you happen to remember every note in each scale on the entire net? Yeah, on a good day, I think. See, Kevin, yes, I believe he does give lessons aside from this daily free one. I do teach guitar. I'm sort of, I've been sort of retired from it since COVID. One of the policy makers in DC was a student friend of mine, and I said, all right, I'll see you next week. And she said, not if we're all under quarantine, you won't. And I laughed because I thought it was funny, and she corrected me immediately, and she said, that's not if we're all under quarantine, and it's not really, that's not a joke, like, I'm being serious. And I thought, whoa. So that was a big deal. And so through that whole process, I sort of transitioned away from in-person private sessions to like internet sort of like vibey things. But I have students all over the world where we do like Zoom calls, like professors from colleges will call in, they're, what are they called? They're funded, endowed chairs, like from departments of universities, notable universities will do like Zoom sessions together. And then for whatever reason, I haven't thought much about opening that up to friends, but if that's something that you're interested in, I'd certainly, if you're really interested in it, I'm interested. If you're just kind of like looking to fool around, then, I'm not all that interested, but I could help, right? And that would turn into be like a, once every 3 month thing. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, we can talk about it. It's jasoncareyguitar@gmail.com, and you could email me there anytime you want, all right, anytime you like. And so easy to do. And thank you for the question, Bernard. That's a good question, good comment. Great lesson. Many haven't seen. Listen to all what you know you're playing by the tunes. Oh yeah. Important to understand the notes we play for sure. Have a great day. All right, I'm getting to the end of it. Arpeggio, absolutely. So, eagerly waiting to talk. So, oh yes, right on, bro. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Pay closer to the heart. Oh. I'm hearing it in B flat. I know it's not in B flat. What key is it in? All right, I'll come back to it. It's not coming to me, but I don't want to sit you here and you guys watch me go into a coma. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate all of your seat time, and I really appreciate, that's the biggest investment of all. And until we meet again tomorrow morning, like I said, if you're just tuning in, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the entire year of 2025. And until we meet again tomorrow, or if you're hanging out tonight for the slide guitar live session, I'll see you then. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully at 7:30 a.m. at the same bat time, same bat channel. And until we meet again, happy picking, fellas and ladies.